Welcome to Monkey Chatter. Monkey Chatter is a podcast by three great friends who have different perspectives on all things wellness. So let's jump right into today's topic.
Welcome to Monkey Chatter. This is Michelle, and I'm here with Amy and Lara. And today we're going to talk about something that is a real problem for me. So, we're going to talk about clearing the clutter. And I'm not afraid to admit that I have been trying to clear clutter most of my adult life and failing miserably. So, I really hope that Amy and Lara have some helpful tips for me. And maybe, just maybe, this could get me started on a whole new track. So, for those of you who can't clear clutter either, can't believe I said that. That was good.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Maybe there'll be some help coming in this episode. So, which one of you guys wants to start?
Or commiserating on
Same boat as Amy or
Yeah.
Michelle. Sorry.
yeah.
And speaking of Amy, I feel like has the clutter under control better than any of us.
I don't
I have
know.
to agree. Like
I go
she's
through phases.
she's acting like she doesn't, but I've been to Amy's house
She's
and
kind of
I've been to my house. And I'm gonna tell you, Amy definitely has a better handle on her clutter than I do.
Yeah, and I have also been to Amy's house, and I've been to my house, and I think Amy is she's I wouldn't say a neat freak, but kind of close to a neat freak.
Yeah.
Kind of. My
Every
standards have definitely declined. With 2 dogs, my standards have had to decline a bit. But I still I have a really hard time with clutter. Like, it just, like, makes my brain is enough. Like, I don't need clutter in my environment to make it even more so.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's just a way to function because the more clutter I have, the more cluttered my brain becomes, and it does not need any help to become more cluttered.
Yeah. Do you think that it's sort of a value? Is whether or not you need like a clean, clutter-free space to live and work in, is that kind of a core value? Like, does Tony share that value?
Um, he is not quite as much as I am. He's not terrible though, and knowing some of my friends' husbands and significant others, it could be way, way worse. But he's not quite on the labeling system, filing system, containers, things like that I am. So
Wow.
there's a
Yeah.
reason when I record this podcast that the camera is set up this way,
Mhm.
because if I were to stand at my desk like I normally would be doing, his desk is like right behind mine, so our desks are like kind of are backed up to each other, and no one needs to see that.
Why do you think you guys look at this little section of wall every time? There is no way
I like the
I'm
cabin
giving.
feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, enjoy that. Yeah, because that is probably the only spot in this whole room that I could do that with. Yeah,
So
just saying. And no, I'm not gonna show you. No,
Oh, dang it, I was just gonna ask.
not going to show you.
So,
so
Amy, how long have you been like this?
I feel like this is a like dissecting Amy night now. Wait, and then
Fun.
we're all
We're just jealous. We're just
I
jealous.
am really jealous.
no,
I have to say
Larry
I'm
is
super.
super organized.
Yeah, Lara, your space
Can
always
be.
looks great.
Yeah.
Well, it can look great, and I love my space. Like, I have made it more into a sanctuary for me because I
Mm.
know that's healthier and happier for me, but it gets into disarray enough to where I notice how it feels when it's in disarray, and then sometimes it freezes me into, like, thinking I
Mm.
can't fix it.
Mm.
That's the hard part for me. And it will, like, especially when I'm stressed and there's a lot going on, it will get cluttered, and then I'll be like, "Ugh." But
Mm.
honestly, this sounds crazy, but that's one reason I like to have cleaning people come. They come once a month because honestly, when they are coming, I
You
have
clean?
to
You
declutter or they won't be able to clean.
Yeah, they can still kinda clean, just saying.
They might
Yeah,
be able
Michelle's
to,
like, I
but
know from
from
experience.
experience, yeah, my little cleaners, they can tell. There are days when they're like, "Okay, I guess we're just working around. It's okay."
But
And,
Michelle, I
you
feel
know
like your house, like, I don't feel like your house was cluttery. Your office was just a bit overwhelming for me.
that's so kind. So I'm
Like,
really good with well, I have to say Bill, so, like, my husband, way neater than I am. I have been a bad influence on him, but when we first started dating, like, Bill's space, immaculate, and well, his mom was a home ec teacher, right? So,
oh,
seriously, he grew a place for everything, everything in its place. On Sunday, we clean, and this is how we do it, and,
mm,
all of that. So the first so definitely that kind of helped me at least deal with, like, the shared spaces. Like, I'm one of those people who always makes their bed before they leave in the morning.
okay,
Like, so there are certain things that I'm really, never, rarely are there dishes in the sink or any of that kind of stuff. Like the counters are pretty clear.
yeah.
Um, it's the it's the office, my guest room, um, my laundry room, pantry, whatever that room is, woo, where all the mittens and boots and all of that go to hang out. Um, so, but it's really I used to be able to manage my office. I can't even I told Billy, I'm like, I'm just never using that office again. So, I just am not. I go to WorkSmart. I go to a shared workspace, and I pay money to go somewhere clean and neat and tidy without crap all around me. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
So you
it's
have to be somewhat organized if you're packing up all your work stuff and you have to keep it handy. And are you a
oh,
person that keeps
Lara,
it on
that's so
digital?
funny. I really wish that was true. It just gets shoved into this bag as long as I have, like, some days I'll be like, "Okay, I'm just bringing my laptop, my little notebook, and my calendar, and I'm gonna just try to clean out the backpack with all the little pieces of paper." So, for me, it's a lot of, paper. I have trouble managing paper. And and making decision like, still trying to clean out my mom's stuff, like, trying to make decisions. What do I do with it? What do I do with it, right? Like, you can't just throw away 60 years of photographs of your entire
Mm,
I guess you can,
Mm,
but I
yeah,
would that's a really hard ask for
that's
me.
hard.
Yeah.
mhm.
Or,
I would
like
have a hard time too with that.
yeah, I'm like, "Well, but what do you do with it?" So and, like, all my mom, God bless her. So, she kept a little shoebox with all her her invoices and tax stuff and all of that. Like, anything that went on that year went into a shoebox with that year on it. So, I have a closet full, and the accountant's like, "Oh, well, you should keep, 7 to 10 years of her stuff just in case." I'm like, okay, so I have a whole closet of these shoe boxes with 7 to 10, and every year I go and burn another shoe box. I'm like, this is it's it's
At least you're getting through the shoe boxes
yeah,
slowly.
but it's gonna be a really long time. Like, it takes up my whole top of that closet. I don't have a lot of closet space,
7 to 10 years from now, you will.
right? I'll be 73 for goodness sakes. Like, who cares at that point? Anyway, so enough about me. Tell me, you got like, what do you do? Okay, so here's a real question. What do you guys do with your paper? Like, I have so much paper.
I hate
Like,
paper.
what kind of paper,
So just if I
for
just
example?
reach just a tiny bit, right? Like, just let me
Scooch
just
on
look
over
at
here.
this pile. So what's here? I tried to start to get organized, so I have all these envelopes that are labeled with nothing in them. So that was an attempt, but that's that. Then I have my little stuff for my financial people. I'm preparing for year end and the tax season, which I will
Oh,
also
that's
mention
so scary.
terrifies the crap out of me. Yes. So I just put that over there. Receipts for work on my car, which does have a folder. Okay, so I don't want you to think I'm completely insane because I have folders for, like, I have a whole little rolly filing cabinet that
I
has
was gonna say, do you have
folders.
a filing cabinet?
I have 2 empty ones, right? How crazy is that? And then I have a rolling filing cabinet that has, like, that kind of stuff. But that's what's just sitting within, like, arm's reach. I'm like, "Okay then." And then what do you do with, like, all the dead electronics that you're supposed
Mm.
to clean, right? You're supposed to clear those before you ditch them. I don't know how to do that. And if I could even power them back up, who would know? I mean, like, what do you do with all that
Can
stuff?
you
Can't even tell you how many things I have.
Can't you just
just take
sledgehammer them and then take them to the,
Can
recycling
I?
place?
Can I do that? Like,
I
can you
think
just
so. I
sledgehammer
don't know.
stuff?
can you just take the SIM card out of it?
I don't even know. No, I don't know.
I don't think computers have SIM cards, do they?
Oh, I thought you were talking about phones.
I've got
Sorry.
phones and I've got little iPads and I've got little, like, all these things. I have this big monitor from I think I have 2 big monitors that I never use
Yeah,
The
but how do you,
monitors,
you
I'm
could
wondering if you could
donate.
just donate. Yeah.
like, to who though? How?
I
Where?
don't know.
Like,
Google.
you
I mean,
Donate.
Google that. I mean, not donate to
know,
Google.
Hey,
but
Google, would you like some old ass monitors?
like, well,
Google, where can I donate computer monitors in my area?
My
okay.
Google was
It
telling me he
never,
doesn't
it is
understand.
never, like, it's that easy, but it's never that easy. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
right? And all the cords and I have so many, like, cords and like, do you just chuck them? Like, okay, I don't know. It just seems like crazy because you spend so much money on all this shit. Sorry. Now we're gonna have to do
Crap.
a
Now
thing
I
with
gotta
those
put
Oh,
cords.
I already said
Sorry.
expletives.
yes.
I
But
had to do it on last week's too
I know
because
I was out of control last week. Sorry.
This is an adult podcast. It's okay.
yeah.
Anyway, so paper is a big problem for me. Yeah.
I mean, I can relate. I really hate paper. One thing I have been trying to do, but it's hard to do with the old stuff, but like with my stuff now, I try to scan or keep digital copies of things and then just shred and recycle all the paper
How do
things.
you do that and be confident that you'll be able to put your hands on it if, like,
Well,
technology sucks, like, it
I'm
doesn't
more
work.
I'm more organized on my computer than on my actual desk.
So what
Like I
happens if your
have
computer takes
folders.
a header?
Well, there's this thing called a external hard drive.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess
And
that's true, yeah.
like Microsoft has like this OneDrive thing that backs up your stuff, I guess. Um, but also, yeah, I might just be up shit's creek.
Right? Well, and I think about that, like, I'm thinking about all those people who in Los Angeles who have just lost everything, burnt to the
Mm.
ground, like, seriously, and cancel this, universe. If we had a fire here, like, oh my,
Yeah.
Mm.
that would be a challenge. Like, yeah,
What do
Um,
you do with
not
your
to
paper?
divert to back up, but
please back up, don't make me stop.
Goodwill says we accept all computers, printers, monitors, scanners, keyboards, computer speakers, and mice. I think they mean like
Mouses. Yeah.
yeah.
That would be funny if
I'm
somebody
like,
dropped a whole box of mice off.
Nice, there you
who
go.
said you accept mice? Yes. So according to Goodwill's website,
So that's
um,
my only concern is that if there's anything on any of my stuff, I don't
yeah.
really know how to, I don't,
Well,
I
your monitor wouldn't have anything though,
right, I could
right?
just get rid of
Yeah.
that, right?
So there's a
Yeah.
start. Go
Okay,
there.
I'm gonna
Kind
get
of like I do with the nutrition thing. It's
one bit
bit
by
by
bit.
bit.
Yeah, I need
There's
somebody here.
Yep. So there's your monitors.
Okay.
Monitors.
I will
Problem
say,
solved.
if your computer is dead and you can't plug it in,
Yep,
that's the challenge
yes,
because
it
Mm.
is.
if you can get it to turn on, it walks you through steps of like a factory reset and you can do that on your
Mhm.
own. But I have that problem. I have one laptop that doesn't have I can't charge it. But I know there's probably stuff on that hard drive that if somebody was smart enough, and there's a lot of people out there who could do it, maybe these people just go to Goodwill and pick up old laptops and try to scan them for like personal info and sell them on the dark web. I don't know.
Well, see, that's the
Well,
problem, right? Like
Michelle,
yeah.
didn't you have a computer person you were working with, like, go in every once in a while? Can you take it
So
to them?
I did, and he quit his
Oh.
doing that, which is really sucks because then I kind of had like really depended on him and didn't pay attention to anything.
Uh-huh.
So I did get one computer wiped when I got my new little laptop that I have now. So I have one that I could just really, use as a trade-in or bring somewhere that has actually been wiped. So I guess I should get rid of that one first. Yeah.
Yeah. And your
Yeah.
monitors.
Yep.
Bit by
And
bit.
There's a start. Yes.
Yep.
Bit by bit.
Okay.
And phones, I think phones, you can just take out the SIM card.
Mm.
How do you I don't know how to do
Google
that,
Also,
but I can
YouTube.
Google
can
that.
you literally just smash it to bits and then
Yeah.
I
the
could.
bits
Yeah.
aren't recoverable? I mean, that might
No.
be fun.
I think that actually appeals to me.
You
Yeah.
may even be able to, because you're with Verizon, right?
Yeah.
Can you just take them to Verizon and ask them to help you take the SIM card out?
Oh,
I bet you
yeah.
I could.
Yeah.
And
Or
also
you
make
can
sure you
YouTube
don't
it.
smash the batteries because I think that's polluting the environment.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, careful. Don't do anything that we suggest.
Yeah,
Don't
we're
try
not
this at
We don't
experts.
know what we're talking about. Yeah.
There's a disclaimer on here that says,
We are
Yeah,
not
don't try
experts.
this at home.
Yeah.
We're not
yeah,
doctors.
Clearly,
no.
we're not experts.
We're also
Yeah.
not technicians.
Anyway,
Yeah,
right.
somebody's probably listening to this like, oh my God, they have no
These
idea what they're
people
talking
really
about.
are terrible. Don't take any advice from these women.
So, Amy,
Anyway,
what do you do with your paper? Like, are you just organized and have filing cabinets, or because I do? That's the thing I struggle with too is paper.
Yeah. So yeah, we have two filing cabinets here. One's Tony's, one's mine. They're like 4-drawer filing cabinets. And yeah, I just file stuff, and then like, so the top drawer is like for all the stuff that is like this year.
Mm.
And then like typically, now I haven't done it yet for this year.
move it down.
But like I just move it down, like make new, of course they have labels.
I'm sure they do.
Like the folders have labels, and then so I'll just move them down. And then quite honestly, at this point in time, I've gone paperless with a lot of my bank statements
Me
and
too.
stuff like that. I have gone paperless because I don't know, they keep them.
Yeah, well, and then you do have to shred them eventually if you have bank
Yeah.
statements and stuff.
Yeah, so I
I've
just shred them.
really
but-
tried hard to make everything I can possibly get, even bills, I get paperless if I can. And
Yeah.
same thing with bank statements. Even taxes, like, so I know you get a lot of stuff in the mail around tax season. This is the time to do it. Like everybody, when this airs, it'll still be, I think it'll be early February when this,
Yeah.
or it'll still be January. I think it'll still be January.
Yeah, still be January.
So yeah, everybody's like scrambling to get all their stuff by the end of January, at least somewhat together, and then we wait till April 14th to get it all to the tax guy.
No
But
lie.
I mean, honestly, like I have been trying. I've done this for a long time now, at least for probably the last 4 or 5 years. I start a folder on my desktop on my my laptop, but it's my whatever they call the desktop. So I'm so techy. And it always has like the years, like taxes, 2021, 2, 3, 4. And I just put everything in that folder. I don't have it organized. I just name it so I know what it is, and I stick it in there all throughout the year if I think I'll need it. Like when you pay your car registration or your home insurance or whatever. And then when I start getting all the other stuff, I scan those in. And you can even take a picture with your phone because a lot of people, there's no difference between that and a scan. And then I put it in that folder. And then I get rid of the paper after tax season just in case I need it.
There's also an app that I've used on my phone called Cam Scanner.
Oh, I have that. You told me
Scanner.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it will like turn it into like a PDF or whatever, so you can
Mhm.
scan it that way.
Yeah, so that's what I've been trying to do, at least for tax stuff, and a lot of other things, contracts and agreements and things. Because with the business, I have a lot of like little agreements with people and
Mm.
practitioners, and those I've been trying very hard. I'm much more organized with the business than I am with my personal stuff.
Mhm.
my desk at home, which I'm sitting at it, but you can't see the clutter on it. It's very cluttered, and it drives me nuts. And I do have
Hmm.
an old printer here that needs to go to Goodwill.
I feel a little better. Thank you, Lara.
And I don't have a filing cabinet. That could be partly what my problem is. I have one of those big cardboard boxes that
Mm,
has things in it, but it's pretty full. And I have this old antique sewing cabinet that has a bunch of shelves, and I just shove everything in there.
mm,
One of these days, I'm gonna clean it all out.
yeah.
And thank goodness my sister ended up taking a lot of mom's old photos and stuff that were in boxes, and she's hanging on to those for now. Her house is bigger.
Mm.
She has more space. But yeah, what do you
Mm.
do with all that? Like you said, Michelle, you don't want to throw it away.
Well, but part of me is like, because I don't have any kids, right?
Yeah.
So something happened, when I pass away. If Bill's still alive, he certainly doesn't want all that crap. Um, and I don't, and quite honestly, every once in a while I will take a stab at starting to go through some of these photos. So, you know, my mom did not write on the back of every one of these who these people
Mm,
are. So there's so many of them. I have no idea who they are even. Um, so by the time it gets to my nieces, they're not going to know anybody. Like if I
mhm.
don't know who they are, they're not going to know anybody. So maybe when I retire and I have a little extra time, I will actually try to play around a little bit with somebody who does like family genealogy or whatever, and really try to put like something together that has sort of the history of the family, not not anything dramatic, but like nobody needs all those photos. Like it's
Right.
just insanity. Yeah. Anyway, so
Well,
that is a project that I don't want to get rid of everything, because truly it should somehow be saved in some way, for my nieces and my great whatever comes next, right?
yeah.
So they at least have some idea of their, you know, but clearly they're not interested in people who think people are going to want their stuff are delusional. Yeah, right?
Well, we just
Like,
cleaned out my mom's house too, and I remember my sister and I were just amazed at all the stuff. Not only that were hers that she saved, but stuff that her mom and
yeah,
her great her
yeah.
grandmother and her great grandmother. And so, like I said, a lot of it we just kept as is and just are storing because we didn't have the heart to throw it away. But and some of it was really interesting. Like some of it was there were some amazing
Yeah.
things in there too. There was like Civil War stuff and
Yeah.
so we did keep a lot of things, but my mom was she was so organized in so many ways with like she did genealogy studies and those were so organized. Like she had folders and files and it was all labeled and a lot of her stuff was like that. And then like the last I'd probably say 5 to 10 years of her living
Mm,
there and she's in a memory care now, but as her memory started going, you can tell like the stuff that was starting to fall by the wayside.
mhm.
Like it's not organized. It's just stuck the way I do, stuck in like a shelf and
Mm.
stacked and we were going through it and my sister burned a lot of that because it was like old statements and things with Social
Yes.
Security and like her husband who passed away and I was like it was almost like she was like bipolar. She was like
Mm.
super organized, Miss Super organization. I can't even speak. And then
Words are
super
hard.
organized, and then like halfway to, Hoarders,
Mm.
an episode of Hoarders.
Yeah.
So like
Mm.
maybe we all have that little bit of like duality, and that's what
Well,
I'm hoping about me because I have
you
a
know
very organized work life,
yeah.
but not all so much at home.
I I
Here comes the cat.
feel like I was always sort of on the edge, right? So even when I had my office really organized and I was still one of those people
Who's
who had
singing?
is that Lyra? I'm not
Oh,
Sorry,
touching anything.
it's this.
It's
oh,
a
the cat.
kitty!
I'm trying to block.
Yay!
I'm
I
trying to
It's
was
block.
a
like,
kitty!
Sorry, we'll have to take a.
I,
We'll be right back for after
I'm
this
like,
word from our
Please.
sponsor. He literally just jumped up here. I'm like trying to block the computer, and he's like doing this, like with his paw, like knocking things off the shelf, and like,
I'll
what are
help you
you
with that
doing? So
clutter.
sorry about all that. That
Let me
could be a
help you out.
blooper
Wait,
time.
what is banging?
Wasn't
He's
me.
It's
At
him
least it
knocking
wasn't
things
me that
over.
time.
So
God.
start that over, Michelle.
I don't even know what it was. Oh,
Oh,
I'm talking about you said something like I'm being bipolar with the like organize whatever.
yeah.
And mom
You're cracking me up. I feel like your cat is just like, let go of me. I'm trying to do,
I have something to do, right?
do something. His little head is like,
He wants up on the desk so bad. This is why my desk is a mess. No, I can't blame him.
sorry. It was just really funny because his face
You
is
should
like,
let him have at it. Like, see what he knocks off, and whatever
he's
goes
like,
off goes in the trash.
yeah. Oh, yeah. His face was
That's
just
what I
like,
need.
That's a good idea. That's
With
cat clutter 101.
cat clutter, right? Yeah.
he's like a little whack-a-mole. You know how like they like pop their
Like,
little heads up?
yeah. Bam.
Okay,
No cats
sorry.
have been harmed in the making of this
we
podcast.
love
He did not
cats.
really get whacked.
Love cats. Nothing bad is happening.
Okay,
Yeah. But yeah,
sorry. It was just a little
I do
distracting.
think, and I wonder, like, I don't know how old your mom is, but my mom, her mom raised a bunch of kids during the Depression, right? So
Oh, yeah.
she saved, like, she folded up her aluminum foil. She
Yeah.
reused her tea bags. She reused her paper towels. Like, and my mom wasn't quite that bad, but definitely, so they're kind of like you were saying, Lara, like, she had all her stuff so like she knew exactly, like, here's the drawer, this is where this goes, and this is where that goes, and then the last years, yeah, got a little
Yeah.
not quite as organized.
My mom
Yeah.
just turned 80.
Okay, so she's a little younger than my mom, which would make sense because you're a little
Yeah,
younger than
and
me.
her mother did do the saving. She went through the Depression, and she saved I remember helping mom a little bit because I think I was in college, or I was like just out of college when my grandmother passed, and cleaning out her house. I mean, it was like an episode of Hoarders.
Yeah,
It was pretty bad.
they
But
just
she
saved
also was
everything.
organized. Like, it was
Yeah,
everything had a place. It was just so much stuff. And she had an attic full of it.
yeah,
But yeah, that's just how people were, though, I think, back then, because they
yeah,
did save everything,
yeah.
which I don't. I am not a saver. I get rid of a lot of stuff. My kids probably hate me because I'm like, okay, there's one box of artwork in each of your closets. That's it. I don't know what happened to all the rest.
That's so funny. So Billy, when we first got married, he is not a saver. Like, that is not. And I remember saying, he'll probably kill me when he hears this. We had just gotten married, and I said something like, "Do you have your last year's tax return? Because I do the taxes, right?" And I'm like, "Do you have?" He's like, "No, I throw those away." Like, after,
That's surprising.
I was like, I mean, first of all, for somebody like me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm sure we're going to
What?
jail.
Yeah.
This can't be okay. And but he's one who really will just throw. Like, we are opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, I'm saving 10 years of info. He's like, yeah, I don't think we need, like, throw it out. Just throw it away. We'll burn it.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. So there is a big range, I think, with people and what feels normal to them.
Yeah. Well, I was going to throw out too that I thought it was interesting because my friend Cheryl Wolverton, who is a life coach with Sessions with Cheryl, who's been a guest on our show, we've kind of been on the same wavelength for a few weeks anyways, but
Yeah, I would say so.
we really have, because I picked
Yeah.
Nourish and Flourish, and then we had just talked right after I picked it, and we hadn't talked, and she said she was starting a newsletter called Nourish and Flourish, and I was like, what? Are you reading my mind? But then today I signed up for the Nourish and Flourish, and today the topic was clutter. And I could not believe it. I haven't let her know that yet, but when she finds out, she's going to be amazed. But I thought it was interesting because it talked a lot about how clutter can be linked to your mental health.
Mm.
Well,
And
that
I'm
explains a
sure
lot.
there's studies and things. Yeah. Um, but they do, they do link a lot of different mental health and just your general well-being to how you feel about your home environment. And that doesn't mean just having a roof over your head, but just,
Mm.
like, is it a sanctuary? Is it a space that you feel safe and comfortable in? Or is it a space that makes you anxious because it's full of clutter? Things like that. So I thought that was really interesting. And I
Michelle
mean,
cracks up.
Well,
clutter
sanctuary.
Yeah.
Not exactly
spaces.
the word
I
I
So
think
this is what I
honestly
remember.
that's
Oh, sorry.
probably oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that honestly is probably one of the biggest like I just feel like I can't function like my brain just doesn't function well and like it doesn't function well. But it functions even less well in a like cluttered environment. There's just something about like, I'm definitely the type of person that like to go to bed. Okay, this is gonna make me sound like I have issues.
Excellent.
Um,
Good. I can't be
but
the
like
only one with issues on this episode. So
yeah,
go.
but I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, if the pillows aren't like kind of in the right place, or there are dishes in the sink or whatever, like I feel like I can't like sit
Relax.
down and relax if that things are like I don't know. So yeah, for me, it definitely is a big.
Well, I think that there's like, I don't know what the studies are, but I mean, that was one of the things that was talked about in an article. She recommended it. It basically said cluttered spaces can create feelings of overwhelm and anxiety.
Yeah,
So I can
I would
relate.
agree with that.
Yeah. And like maybe it's an extreme to, like you said about the pillows, but then I do sometimes get up off the couch because it's like I can't relax if I glance into the kitchen and I see, oh, like I forgot there's like something on the stove that needs moved or cleaned, or because you don't want to leave it all night and you get all relaxed and then you'll be too tired.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they also talked about just environmental factors, meaning your home space or your workspace can really affect or impact us psychologically and either lower or raise stress levels or how we feel about stress in general, mental wellness overall. And it makes sense because if you look
Mm.
around and all you see is stuff that needs doing or
Yep.
putting away, it's stressful.
Yeah, I just don't come in
Michelle,
here anymore. I only come in here to do the podcast, and I look just at you guys, and all I can see is this wall, and that works for me. But I can't seriously. I'm like, it's just gonna.
well, wait, didn't you
Yeah,
talk? You were having somebody, didn't you meet somebody at a
I
thing
did,
that
and
you
I
were?
really should call her, but she kind of scared me because when I
Oh,
was talking to her about it, no,
Who is this?
not in a
Wait,
bad way, but
you have to tell us who it is and what it is.
so she's like a professional organizer. Her name is actually
Oh.
Zen.
Oh, no.
Yes, like I forget what her whole name
No.
is, but
Is
yes,
that
I
her
don't have
real
her card
name?
right here. Yeah, like it
that's
is.
her stage name, isn't it?
Stop, you guys. Um, However, when I was talking to her about it when we met, and I was like, "Well, I have these 2 rooms." She goes, I don't really work that way. I come in and we do the whole house, like all the
Oh,
space."
that sounds
A lot.
overwhelming for me.
Yeah,
Me
but you
too.
and I don't know, like, I don't but she said, I mean, and it makes after I got over the initial, like, "Oh my god, I could never do that."
You're gonna live at my house for a year.
Delete, right? Like, but it made sense to me because a lot of times there's space in other rooms. Like,
Mm,
just because I keep X in my laundry room, let's say, maybe that's not the best spot for that. Like,
Mm,
if you look at the whole house and the options available to you in all your spaces, right? And I guess if, we don't really have a, well, yeah, like your garage or your, like, because I obviously cannot figure out where things should go. So now that I have thought about it, I'm like, well, that does make more sense, right? Because if you're just you're like, okay, here's all the crap that's in this room and it all has to stay in this room. And that may not be the best place for whatever it is, you know? Anyway, so I haven't called her because it's too terrifying, is
I'll
the
That
just come
does
bottom line.
seem
spend a weekend at your
overwhelming.
house.
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
Are you gonna come spend a weekend at my house?
I'll come spend a weekend at your house.
Oh, Amy, I'd have to find a place for you to sleep first, though. The guest room is really part of the problem.
I think that's probably why this woman, Zen,
Mm,
I love that actually. I think that's probably why she said whole house, because it's like if you just, let's say Amy's coming and you're like, oh, I got to get the guest room ready. And you do. And the guest room's beautiful. But then where does all the other stuff go? And then does that like impact the rest of your space
yeah,
negatively?
yeah. And have you just shoved it all into, you know? So, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
it truly is figuring out. Like I definitely have some sort of like mental block. Like, and Bill is just like, what the So, like, I have all these clothes sitting upstairs in the guest room, and I will go up there with every intention of like, okay, I just need to put these things in drawers, and I will really just get like I just cannot decide where they should go or what I should do with them, right? So I'll have empty drawers and lots of things and not be able to make a decision about what should go in. What should I do with the thing? Here's the sweater that so and so gave me as a Christmas present that really I don't wear, and it needs to go somewhere else. And then I get hung up too on and this probably is from my mom or her family, but I bet you somebody would pay me for that.
Mm.
Right? And so I have a friend who's really great at this, and she sells so much. She sells stuff every single day on Poshmark. Like,
Oh
she
my
is
God.
constantly like putting stuff in a box and shipping it off. She'll have people stopping at her house to pick up she'll find a little stool and she'll put a little paint on it, sell it for $40. Like, I'm like, how? I just I'm in awe. So there's part of me that thinks I should be able to do that too. And clearly I can't. So I really need to just put it in a box and be like, okay, even if I paid way too much money for that dress that I wore once, like, and I feel like I should sell it because I wore it once and it's a designer dress. Okay, I haven't done that in how many years has that been? Over 10
Yeah.
years. Nobody probably even wants it anymore. It's 10 years old. Put it in a freaking bag and take it to Goodwill, and some kid will use it for a costume. You know,
Yeah.
like, they
There's
don't
a
care.
rule of thumb to that too, that they say like if you haven't
Worn
worn
it
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah,
if you
in, I
haven't worn
think
it a
it's 2
year?
seasons.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I
No,
haven't
Yeah,
I
I've
had
think
seen
to
the
it's
thing
2
like
seasons, because if it's a
yeah,
year, then you only really technically had 1 season to
listen to
try
it.
for it.
Yeah,
Um, and then if it's not been worn after like, let's say you didn't
yeah,
wear it last fall and
it
now it's
needs to
winter
go.
this year.
You're
Yeah, if you
right.
didn't wear it in 2
Yeah,
seasons, you're not gonna wear it
nope.
unless it's formal wear, and like you said, maybe that's a dress you would wear again, but if it's not,
I haven't worn it in 10 years.
oh
Like,
my gosh.
yeah, it needs
Yeah,
to
that
go,
needs to go
Michelle.
in the
Okay.
do you
Your
have a Goodwill
monitor?
bag?
Yeah. Your monitors,
yep.
that one laptop, and your dress.
Okay. Yeah.
Start
Those
there.
3 things. We're
Okay.
Yeah.
giving Michelle homework every week, I feel
I
like.
I know,
know.
I'm really
I
tired
can't
of
wait to
that.
hear about the hair.
Well, I gotta go tomorrow about the hair.
Yeah.
I'm a little scared. I don't know what color to anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Never mind. Somebody else
So
talk about clutter because, like, I'm done with myself. Like,
so I have to say, Michelle,
mm,
I was like that, and I still struggle a little bit with that because I'm like,
mm,
"Oh, man, like, I have all this quote unquote money just like sitting around
mm,
in these things."
yeah,
But I have gotten to the point where I feel like it's that what is her name? Marie Kondo or
oh,
Marie
Kon
Marie Kondo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kondo. If
If
it
Like,
it
does
doesn't
this
doesn't
bring
bring
you
me
spark
joy?
joy,
joy, yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I'm like, would somebody else get more joy out of this than I am? Yep,
uh-huh,
absolutely.
truly.
Like, and I just let it, and I have like seriously and we were talking a little bit before we started recording, but like between Christmas and New Year's, I started cleaning out all kinds of stuff. I have a ginormous box in the back of my truck right now to go to Goodwill. and it's like so like, like let somebody else enjoy it. I don't need it. We don't same thing. Like we don't have kids. I'm
Who
not gonna
wants
hand
who's
this stuff down.
right?
Yeah,
Someone's gonna have to
and
deal with this.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like I'm like, can somebody else use it? I mean, there's a couple of things I have here that are like brand
Mm,
new, like random
mm.
horse stuff and a couple of other things that
Oh, don't even get me started on those.
oh
Horse
Oh,
stuff. You know how
yeah,
much
the
horse
horse stuff.
stuff I still have in my garage that
Yeah.
I probably will
right?
never use again?
I did take a
Oh,
bunch and sell some of that at a sale a few years ago, but honestly, uh, that is really hard stuff to get rid of because that is a lot of money.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a very nice saddle. I tried to sell it a couple times on, like, Facebook
Mm,
Marketplace, and I just could never get it sold, but I have sold lots of other things on Facebook Marketplace, but I just couldn't sell the saddle. It
yeah.
was
Yeah.
wild.
But
I
yeah,
don't know why, so it's in my garage on a bike.
Right? Like,
I
oh,
am all about if I feel like somebody else can get more joy out of it or somebody like less fortunate can make better use of
mm,
it or it might brighten somebody's day, like
here you
go
go.
on.
It's all
Yeah.
yours.
That does make it feel good too to get rid of things. It doesn't
Mhm.
feel like you're throwing things away. I like that
Mm,
theory, Amy, because
me
it's like
too.
if somebody else is gonna get pleasure or joy out of this item,
Mhm.
why would I hold on to it and just
Quit.
think it's clutter?
Yeah, and keep it
Yeah.
here until
And
somebody
I
else
mean,
throws it away. Mhm.
yeah, and
Yeah.
again, like I have a few select things that are new and stuff that I'll, try to sell, but other than that, I'm like, I've been very fortunate. I don't
Mm.
know, pass
What do
it
you
on to
guys do
somebody
with
else.
your photo albums? Do you have photo albums?
They're in a cabinet.
Yeah, I have in my closet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get rid of those, but those are gonna
Yeah.
well, and I do have kids, so that's on them.
Yeah.
They can figure it out. Hi,
I'm sitting
guys.
here looking at a
Good
bag
luck
full
going
of
through my
photo
shit.
albums. Yeah,
Yeah.
sitting next to me to my left. What do I have in my filing cabinet? Hold on a minute.
This has turned into
I
surprise. What does
know.
Michelle have in the cabinet?
It's like
Yeah.
a little scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Scavenger hunt. I think
Well,
you could take your phrase. So last episode we talked about our year,
Oh,
the phrase for
oh,
the
my
year,
living
our
colors
intention,
phase.
and you can work with that with every aspect, but this one would be a good one. So yours was what? Live in color?
Yeah.
So if something in your space does not make you feel like you're living colorfully or this isn't giving you a life in color, what you can get
I
rid of it.
I feel like it's almost the inverse, right? Like I want to get rid of all because all my everything I file in is like all the different color file folders, right? So I've got a gazillion of those hanging around. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be living in color. Maybe I need to go like white and clear.
Well, what
Yeah,
do you think? So, what do you think about the whole minimalist thing? Because whenever I see it, like aesthetically,
I
especially
love
like
it.
on TV, I love it. And but then I look around and I'm like, that's just not me. I don't think I
yeah.
would
It's
really
not
feel
cozy,
joyful,
right?
but
Yeah.
I love it. I see it and I'm like, I want to do that. But then I'm like, I
That's
can't do
how it is at WorkSmart. Like when I go to WorkSmart, that space, I should send you guys a picture of that space. It's in an old um, bank that was redone, like an old architecture. It's
that.
really beautiful, but incredibly minimalist. Like,
Mhm.
and it is, and they have, good music on, and, the kitchen's always
Mm.
clean.
Yeah.
And it's whites and grays and blues and, comfy chairs and, um, but, with big tables with nothing on them. I'm like, I go in there and literally it's like, and I get so much work done. Like I can
Maybe that
get
Yeah,
should be
because
your
there's nothing to
goal for,
distract you.
yeah.
nothing
Maybe
except
you
for
need a
nice
goal for
people.
your office at home to be that kind of a space.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know if I could ever do it. I mean, it's terrifying. I don't know.
Michelle
Yikes.
seriously has been taking loads to the dump for
Years.
years. I'm like, how can you possibly have more stuff?
It is. Yeah, I'm not showing you. Yeah. Every once in a while I get a little like I should show them and then I'm like, yeah, no, not doing it.
Well, maybe you could just take a picture and we could
No.
post it on
No.
social.
No, God no. I don't want no. Just
Well,
Like,
too
I mean,
scary.
if nothing else, this conversation just proves to me that everybody has a little bit of clutter
Of an
fear
issue?
or yeah,
Oh.
Mm,
of a little bit of an issue with clutter. Some people have more, some people have less, but I
mm,
think it seems like it's kind of universal struggle
mm.
what to do with
In
the clutter.
some
And also
way,
like
right?
this doesn't even touch and we don't have time to go into we can do this on a whole nother episode, but like don't even watch this show I watched on Netflix. It was a
Oh, what is it?
documentary and it was called like something like Buy Now and it was about all the things you buy from these companies that just produce throwaway items that don't last. And then like when you return stuff sometimes like to Amazon, it just goes in the dump. And like
Mm.
all this stuff is just piling up in the landfill. And I mean, I watched that show and I literally did not I wanted to like get rid of my Amazon account. But then like 2 days later I was like, "But I need batteries for my dog collar." Like, what?
Like, those are things you need, right?
I know, but
I
I mean, it
do
was kinda
oh,
sad because it's like the culture we live in is like fast
go
fashion
throw
and
away.
throwaway
Yeah,
goods,
yeah.
and most of it ends up in the landfills, not just here, but all over the planet. And
I
Mm.
do
boo.
say I am really it doesn't I don't know if this is good or bad, but, like, I and maybe it's just as you get older, this is something that's sort of normal, but I have things that I wear that, like, I have been wearing for
Oh,
years,
same.
right?
Me too.
Like, you're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, there are some things I've had for 10." I finally threw away a pair of Sperry, like
Topsider?
yeah, but they were,
Oh,
mules, like, they didn't have a back on them, and I could
Yeah.
never find another pair, but I literally bought those, like, 20 years ago. Like, I remember
mhm.
I know where I bought them, I know and, I finally threw them away because I found another I couldn't find a slip-on like that, and I finally found one. So I'm like, "Okay, I'm buying these, but the deal is the other ones have got to go in the trash." Like and I did, I
Well,
threw
that's
them
a good
away.
theory. What is that? There's a theory about that. It's
When
like,
something comes in, you throw
yes,
something out.
one in, one out.
Yeah.
So if you
I'm so
buy
far ahead on the ends though, like there's no catching up.
Well, as long as again, bit by bit, as long as you start now
Amy?
and
Mm.
start it, at least that's not more compounding on top of each other.
And I do think as you get older, you just have more stuff because you just acquire more like, I'm looking around my little office here, and I have a beautiful, hand-thrown pottery that somebody gave me that has a horse on it, that is really beautiful. I mean, it's
it
a one
probably
of a
brings
kind
you joy.
piece, right? Well, it sits here and it holds just pens. Like, I have more pens than human beings need to own. Bill doesn't know how that happens, but I have lots of pens. And then I have
Okay, so
yeah,
I
it's
just have to
crazy.
say on the pen thing, it's so funny. The So I was literally just thinking about this today because I just threw out 2 pens this morning. Do either one of you guys, like, use a pen, and if it doesn't work, you stick it, like,
No, I throw it
back
Oh,
out.
in?
put it in the
Yeah,
Oh,
back in the drawer. No, I try to throw it out too.
I throw it out.
okay.
Well, because
Alright.
I have
'Cause
so many. I probably
yeah.
have 1,000 pens. I'm not exaggerating, but
I have a
throughout
lot of
my whole
pens.
house, I'm sure there's 1,000 pens here, and that doesn't include, like, the work pens. I mean, I'm talking just
Oh.
pens. It's like
What
insanity. They're everywhere. Like, you get them everywhere. I put them back now. Like, I'll be at the bank and use one, and
Oh,
I will
yeah.
walk back in to give it to them. I'm like, "No, I can't. No, no. I'm putting it down." And, and then I have all my little cremated cat boxes everywhere. So I'm like, I guess
What?
I should bury them, right?
A
Like, there's
minute.
one right here sitting on the windowsill. I think
Uh,
this is
I
Molly. I think
that would be good
Molly,
to bury. In the spring when it
right?
thaws, you can do a little
So say
ritual
hi to
burial.
Molly.
what's up,
Oh,
Hey,
Molly?
that's a
sweetie.
pretty box.
Yes, I have a lot. Oh, this is who is this? I don't know.
I will
Oh,
say,
man.
if you have a
Uh-oh.
special pet, like we had a special pet, and it was really my son was very close to him. His name was Tiger, and we did put his ashes in a box, and my son has it, so I don't have to worry about having that. But my son has it. But we had little stones made for
Mm,
like my mom's special cats, and I just put them out in the yard
Yeah.
instead of having.
The dogs are out around. Yeah, anyway, so really, what are we talking about? Never mind.
Trying to
Okay,
figure out who's in the
maybe time to
box.
wrap this up because
I know.
clearly this
Talking
is
about
Let's play a
stressing
game
me
with
out.
Michelle.
I'm
in
like
the box.
losing my
My
mind.
cat's getting nervous. She's in the background meowing.
No, it's okay. It's okay. And
Well, suffice it to say, we've spent 50 minutes talking about clutter
Michelle's
with no
clutter,
real
basically.
resolution.
Well, you guys gave me a few things to do. I had tasks.
Yeah, Lara's cat is like,
Like,
please
why
don't
are
put
you
me
talking
in a
about
box.
Ashes and Tiger? I'm worried. She's old too.
Yeah, my poor cat.
Aw.
Like,
Well,
what do you do?
Are
I
you
got
still
like a
trying to
little.
figure out who's in a box? Oh no.
No, I've
What
got
is
a little
that?
magnet from Cocoa Beach that one of my
Oh.
nieces gave me, right? Like, who needs that?
Goodwill.
But
I do
love
have a
them.
cluttered fridge. I will say my
Do you?
fridge
I got
became our magnet, but
things.
I'm okay with that because it's
Yeah,
all of our travels.
I think that's cool. How many eye clear things do you need to have for your Apple to like? I have so many of these.
It
But
might be like
you
you
don't
need
want
to
to throw them away.
categorize.
I don't know.
Maybe categorization is the first step. It's like get like a bunch of different bins or baskets and have like healthcare, tchotchkes, stuff to throw away, stuff to donate.
That's insane. I've been trying so hard. Oh well.
Maybe you should just wait till you retire.
Maybe. It might be the best bet. I'm just going to work at Work Smart and leave the office alone. Get rid of a few things.
When you
Well,
retire,
Well,
Amy and I will come visit you and we'll have a
yes.
clutter clearing party.
Yeah.
that would be great. And honestly, I don't think it would take very long because you guys would just throw this shit out.
We would just throw that shit
No,
out.
And there isn't that much left. You're right, Amy. Like, I truly have empty filing cabinets and just cannot figure out what. Honestly,
yeah.
they should go in the trash. They're old. They should go in the trash. I should get one nice filing cabinet, and then just do that. Because this should just solve
We're
it.
already.
Yeah,
I already got to check the box for expletives.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right. Well, we clearly have our clutter and our work cut out for us.
Michelle, you guys sound okay. I'm definitely a mess.
I'm not sure that we really
Helped anybody at all.
provided any
No, we
assistance
did
to
not.
anyone. No.
Maybe just commiseration.
Yeah.
For anybody else who's struggling,
You're not
You're not
alone.
It's
alone.
real.
You're not alone.
How many?
Well, and stay
How
tuned.
many cat?
Maybe one of these days we could find like a clutter clearing expert and have them come on as a guest, since none of us are.
Maybe I'll ask Zen if
we're
she
all
would
good at
want
it,
to
but
do
we can't
that.
tell you how to do it.
Yeah. I may reach out to Zen. She helped somebody else out that we know. So, somebody's opening my garage door.
Well, on
maybe they're
that
coming
note,
to clean out the garage. Bill would be really
should
upset
we
about
sign
that.
off?
We should.
I think we should have signed off long ago.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And Amy, you can edit this all, like, just stop it wherever you want. It clearly became
Nope, it's all part of it. It's all part of it. Dead cats and everything.
Oh my god, poor Molly. I think that's Molly.
I was gonna say, did you figure out who
it's
it was?
Molly.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my mom's cat.
Oh, sweet Molly.
She's living on the windowsill, living her best life on the windowsill. She liked it there. It's a good spot for her.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So
Are we gonna try to do our thing?
Sure. I mean, we fail miserably at it every week, but we might as well try again.
We might get complaints if we don't try.
Complaint? Oh, if we don't do it.
Well, both.
I'm like, really?
We'll probably get complaints if we do it too.
I need to do like a compilation of all of them back to back.
Maybe we'll get one if you compile all of them. Maybe there's one.
Oh yeah, maybe just one.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to do the one. We always do the one.
I know.
Like
I think
the
we should
secret.
just do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Ready?
Ready?
Yep.
Go.
Monkey chatter. Monkey chatter. Who you hang matters.
Yeah, that was bad.
Why do we go so slow?
I don't know. We do that every time.
Let's wrap this up. Peace out. Goodbye, people.
Peace out.
Thanks for listening to Monkey Chatter today. As a reminder, we want to let you know that while we think we are really smart, none of us are doctors or medical professionals. So anything that we say or suggest on this podcast should be run by your doctor before you make any major lifestyle, nutrition, or medication changes. Take care and be well, friends.